point. But if I see you on your off hour and you look like a man, I'm going to address that point. Not
Sure.
address it, but I'm going to, be
Yeah, you're gonna,
mindful that you are where you are right now and what you're
yeah.
doing.
But you're being
Yeah, but this idiot
Savage,
wants you
what
to
you're
call them
saying
what they
is,
want to be
Reed, shut
called.
up,
He doesn't
Gakushi.
care about what the reality is. He wants you to
Shut up,
call them what they
Gakushi.
want to be called. That's the
So,
problem.
so Savage, what you're saying is reasonable. Most people wouldn't have a problem with that. And in the same capacity, even though you might not want somebody coming up in everyday public life going, "Oh, you're a cis man," and being like a fucking douche about it or whatever, I'm sure that you can acknowledge that the meaning of that just means you're a man that was born male, right? Or right? Like that's all it means. It's not intrinsically an insult. It's
I
not
mean,
saying you're a
even
sissy.
Gadushi
Like
would
you
say
know the
that he
difference, right?
acknowledges that that's what you guys are using the words for. But what he's saying is there is no reason, and it doesn't make sense to just keep complicating the situation. Again, both sides are the ones that are elevating this. You and Kagushi, people that are just like you. Now, who's in the right? Well, you both kind of are. That's where the rub is. Both of you kind of are. Like one side's trying to force it down the other side's throat, and the other side's trying to do it too.
Yeah, except
It's a
Gagushi's running around saying that these people are
No, but that's not
degenerate,
true, Savage.
dumb,
That's not true at all. That's not true at all.
It has to be.
It,
It's already here, Kagushi. We're not
no,
getting
but
rid of
listen,
this.
it's
Doesn't
only
matter how
one
loud you
side.
scream
No,
about it.
listen. Let me get in. Listen, it's only one side that's pushing this agenda down people's throat. No one's saying we don't believe in trans people or they shouldn't have rights. No one's saying that. What he's
Right.
saying is
I
you
know
have
that.
to fucking accept what the other person wants to be called, and if you don't call them but what they want to be called, you're fucking liable for it. This is the problem. No one's denying their
I
rights.
have
No one's
yet
saying they
to
shouldn't
in
be in
my
the
life.
public.
Listen, I have yet to in my life, and I meet thousands of people every month. I have never once had that encounter where somebody wanted to be called something weird by past what they are. The only time that really comes into about is like social gatherings, and then the conversation gets brought up, or you start becoming close friends with somebody that is dealing with those type of situations. In our everyday activities, i.e., going to the gas, working at work, going through the stores and stuff like that, short of maybe an outlier here or there, nobody ever has a problem or a situation where this ends up being blown up to the portion that it is on Discord today.
Yeah, I agree with you, Savage. Like, I have been around a lot of different communities. I do know people in the gay community. I know people who are trans. I know all these different groups of people, and I've never even. I don't even think I've ever had any of them want any pronouns other than default. Most is like some people will use the like they them. That's it. Like, it's man, woman, they, them, male, female, like it's in that range. I get that there's people who say the other ones are a thing. Never had anybody once ask me to use anything outside of that.
No matter what, it's still a lie.
It's still a lie. There's only two genders, male and female. You could call it what you want. This is, you know what the bigger picture is, Rick? So what it comes down to it is, this is the sign of these people. What do they have in common? They don't believe in God. They worship a fucking flag. It's a religious ideology. They're trying to groom every fucking kid. This is wrong, dude.
Those are all non-problems that you're bringing up, at least non-existent in reality.
You don't worship a flag?
No.
Why is it? Why is
I
it being
don't.
pushed
I
down
don't
people's
worship no
throats?
flag or any of that. But I
Why,
am
why is
Christian.
it
I
being pushed
am
down people's
religious.
throats so much then?
Because of douchebags like you?
Yeah, exactly. So it is being pushed down. You made my point. Fucking.
Again, it's both sides' faults because the loudest ones that speak or they bring it up all the time are both sides of it, and they are vocal about it. You're vocal about it. There's nothing wrong with being vocal about it. Where it becomes the problem is when you're like, they're grooming all the kids. You know better than that. They're not grooming all of them. They're not.
Grooming is the wrong word.
I
I use the wrong word. They're not grooming all kids, but why is this shit being taught in schools? Is the question.
in Indiana, there's no schools that I know of that are being taught, and I got kids all across this fucking thing. They go to a couple of different schools. Just got them all out. We're back to homeschooling, and it had nothing to do with any of that silly shit. You know what I mean? But in Indiana, that's not an issue right now.
Like this NASA show is literally sitting there in front of all these viewers saying a man can have babies. A trans man is a fucking woman or whatever. Like, fuck off.
I mean, a trans man could if they didn't have the surgery because it's still a woman as far as their reproductive
Everybody
part.
thinks it's the cool thing to say. It's the not the cool thing, but it's the compassionate thing, and you're an asshole if you don't say it, so I gotta say it no matter what I think of it.
Well, and
You're an
see, there's
asshole.
where I
You're
don't
an
agree with
asshole if
either.
you
Yeah.
don't tell someone they're not changed their sex. That's just a lie, and you should tell them that they need psychiatric help.
No,
if they
it's not
think
your
they're
place to
gay.
tell anybody. It is
But it's
freedom
my
of
place to
choice.
tell them they really
No,
are a female. Is
no,
that what you?
nope. It's
Are
not
you
that.
literally
Nope.
saying?
It's your place to just move on and not worry about it because
I
you're
can't
dealing
move
with
on
a
because I
single.
have
You're
to tell them that I
you are
have to
you're
support them.
dealing with a single person. You're not dealing with the whole entire problem. What a person's choice is. It even says it in the Bible.
Who
You will
cares?
pay for your choices. I can't make your choice for you. When you bring it upon yourself to go over and out of your way to tell somebody that they are wrong about who they think they are or what they want to be, then you're at the wrong because you have no reason and you have no authority to tell somebody that is not part of you that they have to be something that they don't feel like they are.
Word
But if they
salad.
okay,
What
but
if
no one
they
has a
said they
problem with
were
that.
a
The
rabbit?
problem is they're
Wait a
telling me I
minute.
have to
Wait a
label
minute.
them
Wait a minute.
something.
Wait a minute. Wait a
No,
minute. Wait
Gakushi,
a
he
minute.
does
Wait
have
a
a
minute.
problem
Wait a
with
minute.
it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Deep breath.
What if they said they were a rabbit? Do I have to support that they are a rabbit?
You don't. You just walk away. What are you saying?
How rude of
I'm
you.
saying that it's nonsense for a man to say he's a woman,
I get
a
that.
woman to say he's a
I
man,
I do.
and for me
Walk
to support it.
away.
That's not what they want, though. They want us to say it's real. It's not real. They're insane. They're not different. They're not rabbits.
Don't
They're not
acknowledge to
furries.
them that
They're
it's
not
real.
men.
Don't acknowledge to
They're
them that
not
they are
furries. They're
psychotic.
not in.
You're just adding to
No,
the problem.
you're not listening. You'll never learn because you won't listen. It's
Who?
not real. I shouldn't
I
have to
don't give
support
a
it.
fuck. It is
I know
their
you don't.
choice.
I know
They
you.
have every right
I
to
don't
ruin their
care what
life
their
if they
choice is.
want to. You clearly do.
Fine.
You're
I don't
barking
care.
about it.
No, you won't listen. You will not listen.
You won't
I
listen.
don't
You're just
care
as bad
what
as
they
any of the
do.
Christians, any of the
I don't
hardline
care
atheists
what
that
they
just
do.
want to make sure you cram it down somebody's throat. I do listen.
No,
I
you're
hold
cramming
both
it
sides
down
of
our
this
throat.
conversation.
You
No,
are cramming it down our throat.
no,
Yes, you are. I
no.
don't want to lie. They are lying. So if they want to act like they're a different sex, that's fine. But I should not have
You
to
don't
agree
finance
with
them,
it
you don't fuck
because
them,
it's
and
a
you
lie.
don't feed
You
them.
won't
You
listen.
ain't got
You
nothing
will
to
not
say to
listen.
them.
Argue with what I said
You
and
will
not what
not
you're saying.
listen.
Argue with what I said.
Savage, hold on,
Please.
Savage, hold on. You're not listening to what he's saying. He's saying if they want to lie and say they're not a man or a woman, that's fine. The issue is when they come tell you, you have to call me this, you have to say this, you have to act like I'm a
No, I
woman. You're
don't.
not a woman.
Right, you both agree on that point, but you're just yelling at each other for
Yeah,
some reason.
I know it.
I'm just
Like
curious.
I don't have
this
to.
is
My
the
choice
this is
is to walk away. It's their life.
listen.
They want to fuck it up. Let them.
No,
I've
listen.
said
This is the problem. This is the problem in America, right? This is the problem in America. You go to a country like Thailand. They've had trannies since the 60s and the 70s. But they always call them ladyboys because they know there's interviews of fucking ladyboys in Thailand. They're literally telling you on the microphone. There's interviews on YouTube. Are you a woman? And they say no, we're not. We're ladyboys. We're born as a male.
That
We
is their
transition. We're ladyboys.
culture.
Okay, but why is it in the
And what
West
do
that
they
these
say
people
in
think they're a
Thai?
woman? I'm not gonna lie and say you're a woman. You could say call me
you
a trans
realize-
person, and I'll say yes, you're a trans person. I respect your rights. That's
Okay,
fine.
the
But I'm not gonna
best
call
I
you a
can
woman.
say
You're not a
after
for
this
woman.
Ladyboy.
is take it up with your
Yeah,
congressman.
yeah.
I don't
Why
know
would
what
you
you
tell
want from
Ladyboy?
him.
Bro, you're missing the point. It has nothing to do with the law. It
Nobody's
has nothing to do with
missing
the
the
law.
point. I understand everybody's point. You guys think that I'm not listening. You're sadly mistaken. I understand that you have a hard. This is a non sequitur. This is a no go for you guys. I understand that. What now?
Like
Because
you
it's
come
already
and
here.
say,
Hold
you
on.
come and
It's
say,
already
oh.
here. It's already happening. It's never
What we're
going to go
telling
away.
you-
So what's up?
No, it's gonna
Well,
go
I'm
away. This is
telling
not
you,
gonna happen. I'm not.
people-
People like me, people like Rick, people like this other guy. We're not gonna put up with it, dude. It's not here to stay. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna give it to degeneracy.
Good luck.
90% of the people don't. No,
This is the
literally
problem. Like, if you come and tell me, hold on, Rick, you come and tell me, okay, respect my rights and call me trans. Okay, no problem. I respect your rights. Nothing should be taken away from you. You should have equal rights like anybody else. You're a trans person. That's fine. The problem
why
is
do
when
you
you
have
come
a
and tell
problem
me.
calling them
The
trans?
problem is, hold on, I'm not done. The problem is when you come and tell me that you're a woman. You're not a woman. I'm not gonna classify a woman like you. You're not the same thing.
You are by calling them trans.
No, but this is the argument though. This is the whole they get mad. They're saying no, they're a woman.
If you're
This is what
okay
Master
to
Shield
call
and
them
all
a
these
trans,
guys.
then you're okay to call them the woman
No,
that
but
they
they
are
won't
because
accept
that's
that.
what
That's my
trans
point.
is.
That's my point, Savage. They won't accept that. They say you have to call me a woman. I'm a woman. This is the problem.
I'm sorry, without looking at the genitals, how do you tell? I've got a picture of a woman right now. I'm posting. This woman was born a woman. She is a woman. She has ovaries. She has a vagina, and she can have children. But she's masculine looking. Now,
That doesn't make her a man.
what are you going? No, shut up. So, what are you going to do? You're going to go and call her a man because she looks like a man? You take her at her word, and the way she presents, whether she has a vagina or not.
Why lie to?
The fuck you talking about?
The image I just
Lying to
posted.
them, okay,
What about
if
her?
they're claiming you're a different sex.
Is a woman.
Why is that
She has
different?
masculine features.
You know, it would help if you were actually
what?
arguing against the position other people take. Trans folks aren't saying that they're the other sex.
Yeah, and
someone.
also
Like,
the
how
term in
does it
Thailand for sorry, Rick. The term in Thailand for ladyboy is really an artifact of like when they were trying to translate their culture to communicate with English speakers. But if you look at what the language is in the language they speak there, they have a third gender. They have a separate term for people who are in that category, and culturally it is treated like a third gender. It has its own acceptance, its own rules within society. Like, it's a third gender.
That's kind of what they're asking for, though.
Trans, third
The
gender.
idiots in here are actually asking for that. They want a separate word.
That's right. The
Right.
idiot.
They want a third gender or a four genders or
You're-
something. You know what I mean? Like,
Because you
but then
can't
they'll
be one.
bitch and complain when people say that there's more than two genders.
If you're gonna live in a
Just say
fantasy
they're
world,
trans,
we
I'm
can't stop you. That's fine. We can't stop you from living in a fantasy world. But if you want to qualify, somebody just said that they're not trying to pose as the other sex. Fine, then stop trying to squeeze into those spaces that we separated by sex.
if they just say they're trans and not lie and say men can have babies, I'm fine with it. Just say you're a trans man or a trans woman, I'm fine with it. But don't lie to me and don't make me lie to my children.
Why should they have to announce
Trans men
themselves to
can
everyone
have
that they
babies.
meet?
Because it's
Why
a
should they have?
lie and
Do
it's
you
a
announce?
lie.
Hold on. Do you announce yourself as a man to everyone you meet? Oh, by the way, I'm a man. Oh, by the way, I'm a man. Do you do that? No, that's
I certainly
ridiculous.
don't
Why
say,
should
hey,
they
by the
have
way, I
to?
have a penis.
Nobody has to because it's obvious. It's
Okay,
obvious
so
to anybody's
we're
eye.
going by looks. That's fine. Why don't we
No,
just go by
because
looks?
we assume, because there's also an assumption. There's an assumption that nobody's
That's
going
fine.
around trying to alter what they were at birth.
didn't answer my
That's
question.
No.
Why would you
Yeah,
make
I
that
did
assumption?
answer your question.
But why make that? Why add that extra assumption? Why not just go by
There is an assumption.
people
When you
what-
see
Let
somebody
me
else,
finish. Let me finish. Why not just go by those rules? We judge people by what they appear on, and we judge their gender roles by how they fit into society. We don't. Why do we need to
used
make?
to go by that, but we can't anymore
Because it's
because what
stupid and
they
Why can't
appear,
we?
hold on,
Why
because
can't we?
what they appear to
stupid
be is
and
not what they
lying.
are.
That's why.
Because
Why
Here's
what
don't you
they
another
tell
appear
thing.
everybody
is
they're
not
a
what they
piece of
are.
wood? Why
When
don't
you
you just tell
say,
I'm a piece of oak tree? I'm an oak
Rick,
tree. Why don't we just do that?
Why don't we have
Why
the
would
actual
we lie
discussion
to
that we're
everybody?
trying to have, and
Teach your
not have
you
to
just
kids.
throw
got
in
done
things that
Teach
saying
don't
your
compare?
kids
if
I'm
they
an
just
oak
said they
tree.
were trans, you'd be fine with it, right? But essentially, what you're asking them to do by doing that
Absolutely.
is to announce to the world what their genitals are in every fucking interaction they have. No one
Bad.
expects you to do that.
Oh my God.
Because it's
Why are y'all
obvious.
so
It's
fascinated on genitals?
obvious.
Nobody
But why
has
not just
mentioned
let it
that
be
again.
obvious with them? They look like they're a man or a woman, so let
Because
them
it's
be a
not
man or a
obvious,
woman.
is it?
I
It
told you
turns out
because
that
they're
it's a fucking
That's
lying.
not.
subversion.
They're
It turns
lying.
out that it's all a
Men
trick.
cannot have
That's
babies.
why.
Do y'all know
Or
men
But
maybe
it's
it's
not a
cannot
less
trick.
have
That's
obvious
the
to
role
be
that they want
saying
to.
because
That's the
society
role
has
that they're
changed.
putting themselves in for how they
Yeah,
interact with
yeah.
society. That's
Okay,
the role.
I'm not a
continually
unicorn,
talking
but if I
over
put
me
what I
doesn't
really
change
want to
the
be when I
science.
put a horn on my head, does it make me one? No.
Nobody
What
is
I do is I
suggesting
go up
that.
to every woman. I say, "Are you fertile? Can you have children?" That's what I do.
If you want to have babies, that's probably a good policy.
That would still be
Why
weird.
do y'all have to? Why do y'all have to lie and
It
divert
might be weird,
instead
but it
of
would be
talking
effective.
about the actual subject? The fact is, a man cannot have a baby. Why would I lie about it? Why does someone have to say something they're not? You could say you're a tree.
Because a
You could
trans
say you're a
man
bird. You
can
could
have
say
a
you're
baby.
a cat.
But
All
the
of
thing
it's
is, we don't
lies.
actually hold on. But the thing is, we don't actually
Same
judge other
man.
people's roles in public
It's not about
interactions.
judging. It's
Let me
about telling your children
Let
that
me
it's a
finish. Let me
lie.
finish. Let me finish. Stop
You
interrupting.
can't
Let me
finish. You
finish.
say the
Hey,
same thing
I'm
over
still
and over.
talking. Let me finish. We don't
You
actually
say the
judge.
same thing over and over.
Let me
You'll say
finish. I'm
nothing
not
new,
saying the
but
same thing. I'm responding. I'm trying to respond to what you said. In our public interactions with other people, we're not judging how we interact with them based off their fertility and what they can do in bed, are we? We don't ask people if they're eunuchs. We don't ask women
In
if
the
they've had
dating world,
hysterectomies.
we do.
We don't, and if they had, we wouldn't actually change how we interact with a
When we
eunuch in
interact
public
with the
or a
opposite
woman with
sex,
a
it's often for dating.
hysterectomy in public, would we? So why should this other category of
Courtship.
different fertility make any difference, or why should
Courtship.
it?
I told you 15 times because you're lying to people. You're telling
No,
people
you're not.
that these men can have babies. How many times do I have to
If
tell you? It's a freaking lie. You're not an oak
is
tree. You're not a woman. You're not a Furby.
hold
You're
on,
not a cat. You're a
hold on.
trans person. Just say you're a trans person so you're not
It,
lying.
the only
How
example
is
that you keep
this
bringing up,
confusing?
hold on. The only
You're
example you're
lying.
bringing up
You're
is
lying.
let me
You're lying to him. That's
let me
why.
respond.
Get over the lie part. Talk about the lie part. Talk
Let me
about the
let
lie.
me respond, and I'll try to talk about what you're talking about.
Okay, talk about the lie.
Okay,
Shut up.
you keep bringing up men can't have babies. That's fine, whatever. If you want to say that, people who trans folks who have their reassignment will probably not be able to have babies. And but
100%.
again, to my other point, if a cis woman had a hysterectomy, she can't have babies. Are you going to tell her she's not a woman?
That has nothing to do with it. I
That's the,
said a
but that's the
man
example
can
but
That's
never
that's
one
the
of
have
example you
many
keep
babies.
bringing
traits.
up.
One
I
of
said a
You keep
many
bringing
man
traits
up.
to
can
make
never
her a
have
You
woman.
babies.
keep
Many traits.
you
Oh my
keep bringing.
God.
Hold
Oh
on.
my God.
You keep
Oh
bringing
my
up the
God.
example of whether they can have babies or
I'm
not,
telling
but you're
because
not
you
going to
won't
tell a
answer
woman with
it.
a hysterectomy
Answer it
that
then.
she's not a woman,
Answer
are
it.
you?
All right. Well, she
You
could
have
have
to answer
had
the
children at
question.
some point. So you can, and you can't change. Our stance is you can't change
Has
what you were born
nothing to
as.
do with
So yes,
whether
That
she's
a
still
doesn't
a
mean
married
woman.
woman can.
She's still a
no.
woman.
That doesn't mean that she could have had
Has nothing to do
had
with
babies
You
it.
said
before.
You
hysterectomy.
diverted.
So at one point she could have had children. She's still a woman.
It depends on
You've
when she
changed
had
the
it.
subject.
Some
You
people are.
said she was
Hold on.
biologically okay. She was never an okay. If it was before adulthood,
Don't
then
get
fine. She
into
was still
this. Don't
a
get into
girl,
this.
a
It's
female,
So
female. That's what
is
we
my
imply
60 year
when we
old
say
aunt a
woman.
girl because she
Female,
had is my
female.
60-year-old aunt a girl because she
She's a
was a
female.
cis
She's a
girl
female.
he's
and she
Human.
became
he's
infertile in
She's
tricking
an
you.
adult
childhood?
human
I'm
female.
telling you,
Let
he's
me.
tricking you.
It
You're
would be
not getting into this.
It's not
to repeat
I,
complicated,
myself.
dude.
Any
But it
age
is.
a man can
Things
never
aren't
have a
actually as
baby.
simple as you want to make
You
it.
can slide penises into everything.
There is no age that a man can have a baby. No age, no one, zero, ever. Quit changing it and diverting it and acting like some 80-year-old woman can't have a baby.
Yeah,
Not
but
what I
the
said.
point of
I
language.
said,
Hold up.
I've got an
no,
80-year-old woman.
stop lying.
My
No,
aunt
A
can
stop,
never.
Rick.
man can never
I'm
have
going
a
to answer
baby.
what I'm going
That's
to
the
answer
only
in a
thing.
simple
A
way.
man can never.
Rick, if you have somebody, let's say
No
that they're
man can ever.
shut up. If you have a person, let's say they're born female, they have transitioned, and to the outward world, if you didn't know any better, right? You see them on the street, you see them when they're shopping, you see them wherever. They look like any other man, right? When they're at work, they look like a man. When they talk, they sound like a man. They have a beard.
You know.
To you don't know any better. Okay? Now, you wind up in a situation where that person that you think is a man for the entire time, right? You haven't asked, they haven't told you. It's just a person in the background that you run across every now and again, right? If they're suddenly pregnant and they have a baby, and some kids go, let's say they work at a fucking school or they work wherever. How is that man that I've always known as a man having a baby?
Because we
people
were
will say,
fooled. It
"That's
wasn't a man. It was a woman
that's
posing as the
because
man. This
people
is
who
not
you
hard,
would
Xant.
think are men can have babies because trans people exist." But
I
you
just
don't have
told
to
you
go
how you were a
throwing those
liar.
extra labels on because sometimes you don't even know what someone's
You're a
labels
liar,
are.
Xant. Shut the fuck
Simple.
up.
It
You're a
turns out she
liar.
was never a man. Uh-oh.
Can I answer Xant without 14 people breaking in?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's why.
But why should we treat the title of man or woman
Oh,
Hey,
based on
shut the fuck up. He was gonna talk.
as their
No, fuck
presentation
all
in
of
society?
y'all. Fuck all of y'all in this fucking site because you're all fucking idiots if you think a man can have a baby. All
Rick, get your point across.
Shut
You
the
just
fuck
ruined
up.
not allowed. Not allowed on this bullshit site. Fuck all.
Nah, he left. See?
Rage quit.
It's just
Damn
weird
it.
to insist that we got to base our labels off fertility, except for all the exceptions where
No, not fertility. Nobody said
those are the
fertility.
normal exceptions. But this exception is the one
Straw
that
man.
I'm going to
Straw
focus.
man. Nobody said fertility determines
No,
it.
he did.
He specifically brought that up repeatedly.
As one
Having
of
a
the
baby
things
is based
would,
is
would
fertility.
indicate your
Being able to have a
being
baby is your
female.
ability to be fertile. That's the
He
example.
repeated it
repeated
over and over and over. We treat people how they present in society.
Sure, that's
the
what we
only
want
polite
the
thing to
argument to be,
do.
right? Because that's easy to fight. Because you can point to old ladies and little girls and say, "See, not pregnant." It's stupid.